Yes, Raven fans, Oriole fans, we're here for this too. After a Raven loss, thank you for joining us here on our instant reaction to the Raven Sports, to the Ravens and Steelers game, the Raven Sports podcast, the Baltimore Sports podcast for fans like you. Thank you for joining us today. Obviously, I know a lot of you right now are doing like I'm doing, got the Orioles in the background. Still no score yet in the Orioles game. As of yet, Raven looks like the Orioles now bottom of the first up right now. Jordan Montgomery's on the mound for Texas, and we got looks like Santander at the plate. So we'll go ahead and keep an eye on that as well. So this is one of the biggest weekends in Baltimore sports, and hasn't gone well on the field despite the magnitude of the games. This is what happened today. Ravens losing 17-10 to the Pittsburgh Squealers. The pathetic Steeler terrible towels you got to look at for 4 hours, and then you got to hear about how great the ridiculous Pittsburgh tradition, those annoying Steeler fans. You got to listen to that. Now, the Ravens, I would say this: the Steelers absolutely deserved to win this game. The Ravens did not deserve to win it. They didn't. You can't make the mistake that you had. Clearly, you're the better football team from what I saw. They moved the football pretty well most of the game. In the second half, even they moved the ball, but they didn't punch it in. Two huge things at the end. Lamar, a largely good day as best as he could do. We'll get to that in a second. But the INT late in the game, Beckham just looked outcompeted by the rookie Joey Porter on that ball. I agree with the announcers when they said they weren't sure if it was a fade or a hitch or whatever it was. Porter takes it away, so then you get no points at the end there, which was big. Even when you got the turnover from Keon Seymour on the punt return, which was on the kick return, which was huge, but you don't capitalize. And then I guess you get the ball back after the touchdown with time on the clock to do something. And then there's a strip sack. Watt stripped it away from Lamar. The Steelers get the ball. They still don't score. And then you get the ball back with not enough time, and you lose the game. 17-10, Pittsburgh is successful. This sums it up, guys. Shout out to Kevin Oster, Locked On Ravens. 7 drops by receivers, 3 total turnovers, 2 fumbles, 1 interception. They actually had 4 fumbles in this one. Okay. But they only lost to 2. Not taking points in the second half. Zay Dallas falling down and missing a perfect ball from Lamar Jackson. That says a lot. That's why you lost. You didn't have a good day. The drops were serious. Andrews had drops. It's not just one guy. There was drops. Justice Hill had a fumble. You can't. They just gave him the game. Just gave it away. They were marching, getting yards, and they really didn't do anything with it once they actually got it. So you only scored 10 points. Steelers kind of hang around, get a little more confidence, and they go ahead, wind up 17-10. Zay Flowers, I think, has been your best receiver all year, clearly. Despite the slip that he had, he looks like he's absolutely getting the most separation. His mistakes are just more self-inflicted, not holding on to the ball, not going in the right place. You saw late in the game, going in for the end zone. John Harbaugh had to call a timeout because he didn't know where to line up, etc. Still some rookie mistakes, but Beckham out the game again today, back in, caught a couple balls, not really that productive. Andrews was fairly productive, but again, the drops today. Justice Hill with the ball today. Gus is about right where he's been. Stat line for Gus today, again, about the same. I've looked at all 3 Ks. 12 carries, about 48 yards. They don't use him much, gets 3 carries, and that's about it for him. I thought offensive line played about as well as I expected. They had Falele in for most of the game today, and I thought Daniel Falele did about as well as could be expected. You're going to say great pass rush, the ends, J.J. Watt, and etc. on the for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I thought they did about as well as you could hope for in that situation as well. Ravens defense, they looked about as good as they've always had. This loss is not on the defense. They only gave up, I think, they had the one touchdown pass to Humphrey. Humphrey, I don't think even the coverage was that bad. I mean, I think there was separation a little bit at the end, but that was a perfectly thrown ball, perfect, and a great catch from Pickens to go ahead and get it. I don't have a big. I mean, look, you only gave up 17 points all day. Pittsburgh. Let's talk to Steelers here on the other side. Pittsburgh's got issues. I see now why they're playing Jalen Warren today more than they do Najee Harris. That was the secret sauce today. When they had Jalen Warren in, they could actually move the ball a little bit. Anytime they had Najee Harris, nothing happened. They had absolutely nothing with that. Ravens defensive line pretty much abused them up front. Kenny Pickett, we still don't know. Good at times, not so good at times. Did enough to win, obviously, because they won the game, but they didn't score a lot of points. He had like 220. The long pass at the end really solidified it for him. The Steelers offense, I mean, obviously, you can't be scared of that Steelers offense. I mean, they didn't do much at all today on the offensive side. Steelers didn't really play well offensively at all. Their defense is good. I mean, we know that. I mean, their front seven just high as TJ Watt, Ravens were able to run the ball successfully. But guess what? They kept turning it over. You kept fumbling it. You can't do that. Frustrating because, and I know John Harbaugh is going to say the same thing, you're a better football team than they are. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Raven fan or whatever. Like their offense didn't do much against you all day long. The only pretty much stuff they got was miscues you made. Block punt on Jordan Stout, bad interception in there. They got one touchdown in 4 quarters. I mean, you cannot give away. You can't make this many mistakes and win a football game like that. So you can't against a good defense like the Steelers. They're going to go ahead and take advantage of that, and they're going to go ahead and eventually win. You can't let a team like that hang around and win. That's exactly what happened. Doesn't seem like there were any injuries as a state. Not a lot of flags. Pretty clean. Much better than it used to be for Ravens Steelers games. Used to be fights, flags, everything abound constantly. So this was fairly clean for a Ravens Steelers game. Pretty physical at the point of attack, I thought, both teams, but I thought again, Ravens gave it away. Just too many drops, too many miscues to actually go ahead and win a football game against the Steelers. And you're a better team than the Steelers. You got a better record. They're 3-2 now. You kind of let them back in. We'll see. Tennessee against the Colts. It looks like Anthony Richardson really got seriously hurt, so we'll see how that goes. So the Ravens, once again, lost today to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We will definitely go ahead and check it out next week on the Ravery Sports Podcast. We'll go ahead and review the game next week as well, and we will be here for our regular podcast on Wednesday night. We'll be dropping that Wednesday night, hopefully at 8 o'clock on all of our social media platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. Thank you for joining us for the Ravori Sports Podcast. We're going to keep an eye on the Orioles here. Orioles now up 2-0. So, all right. So let's go. Let's get one win this weekend with the Maryland loss, the Ravens loss, and the Orioles losing yesterday. So hopefully the Orioles will go ahead and pull this one out here as well. Thank you for joining us, and you have a great rest of the day.